It can seem like celebrity entrepreneurs won the jackpot, but there's more to the story. Behind the blockbuster coaching programs, offers, and live events are stories of careful development, fixed mistakes, and strategy. On this season of the Coach Pony podcast, I'm sitting down with successful business owners to ask them, how do you build that? I'll talk to a wide range of coaches and leaders, digging into how it all started, what they learned, and what you should know if you want to play a similar game. And with that, let's get down to business. We've spent lots of time so far this season talking to big-name coaches about how they build successful things in their businesses, like statewide conferences, group and online coaching programs that have tens of thousands of students, and podcasts that have literally made millions of dollars. But to be clear, it is not just the big-name coaches that are doing really interesting work. Coaches all over the world and businesses big and small and new and old are building cool and life-changing things for their clients and their businesses every single day. And in this episode, I want to highlight their stories. So we invited you, our amazing community of coaches, to tell us how you built something successful in your business and to share your wisdom with us. And wow, you guys responded. Thank you so much for all of your submissions. It was amazing to hear your stories. And now it's time to share them. So today we are going to take a closer look at VIP programs, lead magnets, podcasts, and articles that have been seen by thousands. And we're going to discover how you built it. So let's dive in.
My name is Kay Kirkman. The name of my business is Your Genx Career. And I built a podcast in the middle of a pandemic. So I'm a career coach, and I help midlife professionals discover their career passion, even if they think they're too old or it's too late to start something new. I wanted to find a way to expose my business to my ideal client. And as a student of Barb, Build a Real Business, Christy Mim's amazing coaching program, one of the things that she always says is when you're looking to market your business, find a platform that you'll be consistent on and also that you enjoy. Well, I have a radio background and I also love audio and I already listened to podcasts. So I knew that I could be consistent on that particular platform. So that's why I chose to build a podcast. So to build a podcast, the first thing I had to ask myself was, who's my ideal client and what are the burning questions or topics that would most help them gain clarity as they try to figure out what they're most passionate about doing as a career. The biggest tool that I use was actually Google Drive. So I used the Google Forms to do surveys to survey my audience to see what their questions were. And also, I use Google Drive in order to store all my episodes, all of the contracts that I sent to guests before they came on the show, and things of that nature. So Google Drive was probably my biggest tool, in addition to a microphone. That's probably the only tech tool that I actually brought. Some of the major successes of my show were, first of all, we published over 85 episodes so far, 87 to be exact. And we've been heard in over 43 countries. Also, from the podcast, I've gotten speaking engagements, I've gotten clients, I have received requests to do collaborations with other professionals in the career coaching space. And I also have just made a lot of connections, people reaching out to me because they heard the podcast. So that's been super fun. So one of the tips that I would give to anyone who's looking to start a podcast is don't let the fact that there are so many podcasts out there right now stop you from starting your own podcast. Just find somebody who's already done what you want to do, i.e. start a podcast, and follow their blueprint. So I definitely recommend hiring a coach or someone who has done what you want to do. And you too can start a podcast. If I could start a podcast, you could start a podcast and build a podcast as well. So if you want to stay in touch with me, you can just go to my website, which is yourgenxcareer.com. I have all my social media handles there. My favorite right now is LinkedIn, and I would love to connect with you. And good luck.
I'm Ann Sutton, and my business is Ann Sutton Coaching. I help mid-career professionals between 30 and 45 who are trapped in a job they hate land work they love so that they have the freedom to create the life they want and wake up every morning doing the happy dance. The thing that I am proudest of building in my business is my free 15-page e-guide called 7 Proven Steps to Land Your Dream Job, even if your confidence is shot. It's my lead magnet, and it gives people who could be my ideal clients an easy path to start taking action. When I created the e-guide, I worked really hard to get 3 things right. My client's biggest struggle or pain point is front and center, right in the title. I really dug into what would be the biggest thing stopping my people from taking action. And for my people, it's confidence. My people are feeling a bit stuck or a lot defeated because they see other people landing new jobs. And being stuck has hurt their ability to recognize their strengths and experience, and they don't know how to talk about all the great things they offer without feeling somehow sleazy or obnoxious. The second thing I really worked on was the guide's look and feel. I wanted it to look polished because it's the first impression people get of me and my business. So I did have a designer help me. I could have designed it myself, but my strength is writing, not design. So I leaned into what I do best and what would be the best use of my time. The third thing that I focused on was the copy. The copy and the layout are easy to read. Lots of color and white space. I really wanted a sense of fun and possibility because, I'm a bit quirky. So the content needed to reflect my personality. I wanted something valuable, but I wanted to keep it light. My people are tired. They're tired of applying. They can't remember why they're awesome. And so the e-guide really had to be breezy, if you like. It had to be inspiring and motivational. My tips for other coaches developing lead magnets. One is that a call to action to take the next steps with you is really important to include. My e-guide includes a very obvious and clear call to action, encouraging people to take the next step with me, to reach out for more support and advice when it comes to staying positive and motivated. If they need help to develop a resume or LinkedIn profile, I mention that. So the reasons they would want to reach out and the results are clear. The second thing that I would say as a tip is to include information or the link to your lead magnet everywhere. My e-guide information isn't just on my website. It's part of my email signature. And because Facebook is my primary marketing platform, I mention it when I comment in a Facebook group that I administer. I confess I'm really proud of it. I get great feedback. I get clients based on it, and it's been downloaded a lot of times. My website is AnnSuttonCoaching.com, and you can reach out to me at Ann@AnnSuttonCoaching.com.
Hi, my name is Irene Alexander, and I'm an ICF certified relationship coach. And in my business, I help women build strong and emotionally intimate marriages based on the sexual difference between men and women. So in my business, we really want women to feel pursued and adored in their relationships. And that's why my business is called Adored for Life. And today I want to talk a little bit about how I built a VIP program for my business. And basically my VIP program has 2 parts. So there's an online course component that drips content over 10 weeks. And in addition to that, bundled in with the program is a coaching package with 10 coaching sessions. So together, I price that together at $3,000, and I was able to sell that to clients who were really looking for the service that I had to offer. So I just want to go into a little more detail about how I built it. When I was just starting out, I realized that I really need to understand my clients better. So what I did is I just went into a Facebook group and just, where women were kind of complaining about their relationships. And I just went in and really listened to their pain points. I tried to understand what are the things exactly that they're struggling with. And then I ended up using their own words in my copy. And that way, I think that that really resonated, and they felt that I understood and could empathize with them when I later kind of built my program. And then what kind of solutions can I help them with? How can I build kind of a journey where I take them from here's where you are to here's where you want to be, right? You want to be cherished and adored in your relationship. Online with social media, everybody shares so many things. It's very easy to find a group and listen and connect much more easily with your future potential clients. Then the next thing that I did is I did a pre-launch. So rather than first create this big program and I'm not sure if it will sell, I basically said, here's what the program looks like even before I actually created it. And I tested the market. So I made a little video. Here's what I'm offering. If you're interested, get on the wait list. And that was really great because it helped me to create this email list of people who, once I created the product, they want to buy it. So that was really helpful, for us to connect with each other. Like they're having this specific issue, I'm offering this specific service, and we connect together. So just taking that time to test the market ahead of time before I even created the program, I think was really, really effective. The last thing I would say is that one of the things that I learned in the BARB program was something where you can offer an initial consult. Somebody will pay you, let's say $90 to $97 for one session where you meet with the client, you kind of get a sense, trying to help them with one aspect of the problem, but they also get a sense of you and your coaching style. And then from there, you can sell your larger VIP coaching package. And that's exactly what I did. So I wrote out to my email list. I said, hey, I'm offering this one-time session. Sign up here if you'd like to have that session. I had somebody who signed up. We did the session together. And then at the end, I said, well, here's how you can work with me further. And I have this VIP package. And she said, yes. And that's how I was able to build that program. And I guess I would say some tips for anybody who would want to build a business. It's very important to get clear on who it is you're serving and to take the time to really understand their pain in the words that they would use. It's very easy to do. You can do this now very easily in social media. And so understanding their pain and then trying to map out a journey of how do you get from where you are to where you want to be, right? And that's where our clients, they really want to go. And I guess I would say also for other coaches, it's important to get clear on your why. Like, why do you want to do this? Because building a business really takes a lot of determination, and the reason must be really, really strong. So for me in my business, I just hated seeing couples fighting and having trouble and the effect that had on the children and sometimes the breaking of the family and just the disaster and how much pain that is. So that for me was an important why and why I want to build what I want to build. So my final words, coaches, you have a great gift. Share it with the world.
Hello, my name is Annie Das, and I'm from Annie Das Coaching. I help millennial women increase their dating confidence and self-love so that they can attract high-quality partners. Yes! Today, I am sharing about a piece of content that I built that ended up being read by thousands of readers. I had only been writing and promoting myself as a coach for a month when I got the idea for this specific article. See, I had this idea to write a blog post about lessons I have learned about love and dating. My 33rd birthday was coming up, so I wanted to share 33 lessons from my life. When I first got the idea, I almost didn't write it because I assumed no one wanted to read it. I also was nervous to be vulnerable and share more personal stories rather than my usual educational content. But I decided to write it, and I shared it with a much larger site that gets hundreds of thousands of readers every month, and thousands of writers submit work to them. Well, the site immediately reached out to me saying they loved the article and they featured it on their front page. It's now been read by over 3,000 people and was even made into an Instagram post by their account that has 700,000 followers. There's numerous comments from both writers and readers saying how much this article inspired and impacted their life. Because this article was shared so much, I got new subscribers to my email list. I also had people reaching out to learn more about my coaching because of this one article. So not only did this one article grow my audience and credibility, I also learned the very important lesson of the type of content people are actually looking for. I realized that the more vulnerable I am, the more people respond to it, especially when it comes to my niche of dating and love. People want to know that I have been through the tough lessons too. I now make sure to include more personal stories in my content regularly. All I needed to build this blog was a blank page to type on and my own thoughts. I already had a site created for my business that I made completely on my own, nothing fancy to start off. I also had an email list set up and an easy call to action for readers to join my list. I knew I needed a personal site so people can learn more about me and reach out to me easily. I'm so glad I already had a site created before sharing this blog post because it helped to grow my own audience. My tip for other coaches is to follow through on that idea that feels scary or you are resisting. Chances are that your resistance is actually a sign that this is the thing you need to put out into the world. You never know who you can inspire through your own unique story and lessons. There's thousands of blog posts being published daily, and they can all start to sound the same. But no one else in this world can share your own story like you can. People want to know that the transformation you are selling has worked for someone else. So why not start with who you know best, you? There's a reason you became a coach and decided to help your niche. So let people into your world. Don't hesitate. Share your stories and your people will find you. So you can find out more about me on AnnieDasCoaching.com. That's one word. My last name is spelled D-A-S. You can also find me on Annie Das Coaching, one word, on Instagram. And that's where I share my weekly blog posts and also on my site. So I'll see you there. Bye.
Hi, I'm Leticia Niago, founder of Aligned Corporate Experiences. I help professionals operate as the best version of themselves and experience their careers from a place of alignment. Alignment is a competency, and for those who are not clear, a competency is the ability to do something successfully and efficiently. In the context of career wellness, think of alignment as a combination of strategic thinking acumen and how we show up in our environments. It relates to our experiences. One amazing thing I have accomplished successfully is writing a couple of books on that topic. My first book, Ace Your Professional Journey, and my second book, Master Your Alignment, are centered around leveraging strategic thinking acumen by paying attention to the quality of our thoughts to create powerful experiences. I made the decision to write these books in order to help those who may have experienced challenges, who are ready for healthy change. I had worked in environments that were unhealthily competitive, so I wanted to provide a toolkit, so to speak, for those finding themselves in this position. I had been admiring those who were doing well and thought, what do they know that the rest of us are not paying attention to? What are they doing that seems to be working? So I used my experiences and assessed myself, including my shortcomings and my successes, and correlated it all into a process and created a framework that can be leveraged, especially during career transitions. It is a success because of the impact it's had on my business. It has been very positive. Since incorporating the books, when people take my courses, they have a guide of reference that reinforces my message, and they have direct access to real-life examples that they can learn from and apply to their circumstances at their own pace. And it's all explained in simple terms that anyone can relate to. The two most popular ways are traditional or self-publishing. Traditional publishing deals are usually best for people who are already well known. Most of the times, Publishing companies actually go to them with book ideas, a whole support staff that helps them write, a great financial deal, and it tends to take time. This would be for anyone who may be a Fortune 500 CEO, for example, a celebrity, a politician, those kinds of people. For the rest of us, coaches, business owners, etc., self-publishing is a great way to go. It has many pros, including creative, marketing, and timeframe control, as well as royalty and ownership rights, so it is ideal for those like us. In my case, because I am self-published, the process was easy. I first Googled how to write a book. I wrote at my convenience, and then once I'd connected with a self-publishing firm, they helped me from there. For any other coaches out there who is thinking about writing a book, first I want to say, take the plunge. Do it. Just write. The rest will fall into place later on. Then I want to remind my fellow coaches, writing a book is not necessarily about the earnings that may come from it, although let's face it, that's very nice. It is about establishing your credibility in your field. I'm Leticia Niago, founder of Aligned Corporate Experiences. I can be reached at support@alignedcorporateexperiences.com. My website is alignedcorporateexperiences.com. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn. Cheers!
Hi, I'm Rob Southgate, and my coaching business is The Podcast Profs. I help established podcasters master social media and digital marketing so that they can make their podcast the success it deserves to be. It's going to seem obvious from my business name, but the coolest thing I've built is my podcast. This isn't my first podcast, not by a long shot, but all my experience has given me a podcast that is an incredibly effective tool for getting and retaining clients. The funny thing is, I haven't launched the podcast publicly yet. I've only gathered interviews and talked about it online. Thanks to this project, though, I've already interviewed John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire and Dave Jackson, who is a Podcast Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Some of the people I've interviewed have actually turned into clients based on our conversations, which was completely unexpected. I know how critical this tool is based on my 9 years running a podcast network and executive producing over 120 podcast titles, culminating in almost 6,000 episodes. Plus, I've done pre-recorded and live podcasts, which can really help you connect with listeners. How I built my podcast is actually pretty easy. The first thing I did was decide what type of podcast I wanted to do. I've heard coaches do podcasts that are basically monologues about a topic. I've heard them do sessions with prospects or clients. I've also heard them do shows that were just stories about their lives, leading to a teachable moment. I chose to do an interview show. I decided on a structure, 30-minute interview with a short intro and short outro. I also make sure that every episode ends with a recap of important ideas the guest shared, and that's really it. Oh, of course, I push them to my website, with the hopes that they will explore what I have to offer. To get guests, I use a few tactics. If it's another podcaster or coach, I reach out to them through the email on their site, then through wherever they seem most engaged on social media. Whenever I reach out, I try to show them the value of coming on my show and what I will do to promote their content or business. If it's a celebrity, I've had the most luck with Twitter. If they're interested, celebrities will typically send you to a manager or a publicist. My best guests are people that have written articles that I think my clients can benefit from. To reach these writers or bloggers, I contact them through whatever link they provide in their byline of the article. It's amazing who I've been able to talk to just from asking. Having guests makes my job easier. They do most of the talking, and they share their ideas rather than me having to think up new concepts each week. I've also found that guests can take you into new directions. For example, I interviewed a comic book artist recently about his Kickstarter, and we got on to how he was marketing his efforts. A few weeks later, after I posted on Facebook about my coaching business, he contacted me and wanted to have a free session.
Oh, yeah.
This turned into a proposal that goes beyond marketing a podcast. It's about getting him to where he wants his business to be. It's about marketing and mindset. This interview has helped me expand the scope of my coaching business and given me a secondary target, which is already paying off. My podcast is not about podcasting, but about marketing and mindset, which speaks to a wide range of potential customers. As far as tools used, I still edit on the free software Audacity. Of course, at this point, I have some pretty great audio equipment, but you can literally record on your iPhone and still have a good sounding show. If you're going to have guests, the easiest way I found is to use Zoom. It can record right from the app and downloads to your computer when you end the call. What's nice with Zoom is you get audio and video files when you record. You can then use the interview as either format or both if you like. For hosting my podcast, I use Libsyn. It's inexpensive and automatically sends to a bunch of podcast directories once you're set up. You must have a host to create an RSS feed. An RSS feed is where the directories like Spotify and Apple Podcasts pull your show from. Once they have your RSS feed, any new episodes will automatically update so you don't have to think about it. Podcasting is a fantastic marketing tool because it is such a personal medium. It makes listeners feel close to you and the message you're trying to convey. Let's face it, if you can get people on your side and get them engaged with you, closing them on your coaching service is a natural next step. Having launched so many podcasts, I created a getting started checklist, which is really helpful. I wish I had it when I started out. It's on my website and it's free, so go check it out. You can do this yourself. It's not hard and it is fun. You can find my business online at thepodcastprofs.com. That's where the free Getting Started guide is. You can also check out my network if you like at southgatemediagroup.com. For all my social media links, check me out on Linktree at linktr.ee/thepodcastprofs. Now go start a podcast and get those clients.
Wow, those were some amazing stories, and I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. There are two themes that I felt like I heard again and again, whether we were talking about VIP programs or building a lead magnet or starting a podcast. And the first theme is that these coaches just went out and did it. They didn't worry about if there was room for them as a coach. They didn't worry about what everyone else is doing. They just went out and created something they wanted to create in their business. So if you're sitting there wondering, is there room for me? Can I do this? Should I do it? Should I get started? I think the answer is yes, and it's a resounding yes. And the second thing and the second theme I really heard was to focus on your clients and figure out that niche in what you do in your VIP program, in your lead magnet, in your podcast, in your book, and cater to the people you most want to help. And when you do that, wow, your audience will respond. So if you needed a push, if you needed a reminder of what so many coaches are doing, then I hope this helps you get your coaching business out into the world. And if you want to be on our podcast, then please go to coachpony.com and join our email community, because that's how we alerted the community we were looking for guests last time. And with that, I want to wish you a wonderful ride. The journey of being a coach and helping others is one well worth taking. As always, thanks for listening. I appreciate you. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with another coach. And if you need more practical business help, for the love of chocolate, please go to coachpony.com and sign up for a free guide and business training designed to help you get paying clients. We'll see you over at www.coachpony.com.